Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim. You won't believe where I'm at. Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's Daytona Beach. And it was 3:45 a.m. when I got in here, getting some gas on my way back to Jacksonville, my home base. Now, I'll tell you what's going on. I'm going to have to take this light off. Boo! And I have yet to come to a Buc-ee's where it's been dead. You know, nobody here to speak of, other than there's more employees here than there are customers. In fact, they have rope across some of the gas islands where you're not allowed to pull in, and some of the parking spots. So, find my way out of here. This is the one in Daytona off the LPGA Boulevard. Well, right here is the way to get out. And here's the story. I was in Boynton, and I got to thinking, on the road again. I'm sorry, it's going to go dark here. You're just going to have to enjoy my voice. I brought things that I needed, and I didn't know I would need to even stay after the surgery. I knew I would need to stay one more day because the doctor wanted to see me the next day after the surgery. And so, of course, I stayed for that. And then, of course, I discovered that I couldn't see very good. And so it was a good idea to stay. And Miss Jolene and Teddy hosted me and took good care of me. And I stayed there, and I had a place to sleep, and I ate well, and everything else. And then I had clothes and toiletries and all that. I really, what I'm going to say is kind of just making an excuse, but like I didn't bring my beard trimmer, and my beard's getting a little long. I normally keep it a little closer and thinner. And I do miss my bed and my e-bike. And then I discovered that my appointment to go back to the doctor, which was 1 week, he wants to see me in 1 week. Then he says, I want to see you in 2 weeks. Well, when he said that to me, I thought, well, darn, I'm going to be coming back down here. Why don't I save one trip and just stay there, for the first week? And then I got looking at my phone yesterday, and I'm not scheduled to go back until Wednesday morning. I thought it was Tuesday. So I'm just trying to get through the week. Then I'm trying to get through the weekend. Then I would have Monday, and then Tuesday would come, and I would go to the doctor. But I looked at my phone on my calendar, and it's not until Wednesday. And I've already been hanging out, and my eye is doing better. It's still very sore and bloody and all of that. But I think I'm past the point of worrying about a infection and being too far away, and can't drive, that kind of thing. So I started thinking, Wednesday's a long way. I can leave Tuesday. I mean, it's only Saturday. And I got as many more days I would be sitting there waiting as I've done already. So I said, just go home. Just go home and go to your gym. Do some treadmill and things. I don't know about really getting down there and bench pressing and stuff. I'm not going to go crazy. And, use your rent money. I mean, I paid my rent. Go be in the Crasher. And let me tell you, folks, it's not that far. It's 4.5 hours. It's 300 miles. And after you leave Jacksonville and you come down to St. Augustine, you hit a Buc-ee's. Then you go 40 miles further to Daytona there, and you hit another Buc-ee's. Well, now you're only, 200 miles from Boynton. And once you get up here, like I did this morning to Daytona, it's only 40 more miles to the Buc-ee's in St. Augustine. I don't even know if I'll stop. And then, I'm home. So it's really not, and especially on a weekend and these early hours, straight up 95. I'm out on a 2-lane. There's no city roads to get on. It's all freeway. It's a pretty simple drive. And Miss Jolene, she got me to join the Boynton Beach Library, and got this thing called Libby. It's an app, and then you can download audiobooks and listen to audiobooks. And there's podcasts and there's other spiritual things that I enjoy and to keep me company. And so I literally, how you doing, everybody? I literally did that. And now I won't lie, because I left on the 11th hour and kind of made an impulse decision. I was hoping to get home in one shot, but I go to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock at the latest. So after I got on the road last night, I was getting tired. So I hit a rest area. In a rest area, I laid the seat back here in the crusher. The restrooms are just outside the door, and several other vehicles were kicking it, and the trucks were over in the back kicking it. And I laid here. I've got one of these head pillows, and it's not freezing or anything. And I nodded off till I think it was 2. And then after 2, I kept waking up. Not that I was that uncomfortable, but my feet kept getting tangled up around the brake pedal down there. I could have gone over to the passenger seat and reclined the seat over there all the way back. This one was back far enough, but I got my Dometic cooler right behind me. And since I sold that little e-scooter, I can, either push the fridge over there, or I can just go over there. I don't have the steering wheel and the brake pedals. I got a bed over there. And I can just lay that seat back. I don't know how far it actually reclines back, but further than I had this one. And that one, this one was fine. It was just the steering wheel and the brake pedal around my feet. And I have 3 jackets, 2 hoodies and another jacket, and a towel, for like a blanket to put over me. And like I said, I got that little neck pillow, like you use on the airplanes. Pull into a rest area, man. You do anything for a few hours, right? Recharge your battery. So that's what I did. And then, of course, I thought, man, I'd like some coffee now and crush it all the way home, the rest of the way. But, McDonald's and stuff, they're not open at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Truck stops are. But then I started thinking, Buc-ee's is open 24 hours. Just drive on up to Daytona a little bit further, about an hour, and hit Buc-ee's. And so that's what I did. This is my second cup. Now I have to tell you part 2. I got to talking to a nice young man, 33 years old, Jared. He works at Buc-ee's. I asked him all these questions. I said, how you like working here? $21 an hour ain't too bad. He said, it's all right, it's okay. He wasn't over enthused, but he wasn't complaining at all. Turns out Mr. Jared's got his head on straight. Mr. Jared's he's gonna be collecting his Social Security at 62. He's a long ways off, but he's planning now. Planning more than I plan. He's a single man. His mom and his brother live here. He was here from Philadelphia about 8 years by himself, and then they came down. I asked him how he got the job there at Buc-ee's, because it's $21 an hour. You go to Target or Walmart, and it's 12, 13, 14, maybe 15 an hour, and Buc-ee's starts you at 21 and a half. He said, well, a couple of years ago, they built this place. I wasn't, I looked at it. I didn't think much about it. He was in the construction business. Jared's a handyman. He knows a lot about, he's got skills. And his dad taught him a lot of skills. And then he worked in construction. And so he's built on that. And so he comes in at 10 at night and works till 6 in the morning. He's getting 40 hours in. Then he goes to the gym, to Gold's Gym. The kid was buff and works out for like an hour and a half. I said, are you a day sleeper? You sleep during the day? He goes, not really. He goes, all it needs about 4 hours. Kind of like me. He said, I listen to my body. But by working the 10 to 6 shift, 40 hours a week, $21.50 an hour with benefits, vacations, he has his whole days open, aside from a few hours he chooses to rest, to do his side hustle. And he's got some handyman jobs. He's, I think he builds furniture, he does other things. He's got a whole skill set. And he said, so all this Buc-ee's money pays my bills. And my side hustle is going in the bank, an investment. He's got money in the stock market. He's 33, single. And he said something I won't forget. I learned something from everybody. Jared said, one income is close to no income. It's the closest you'll get to no income. So he learned, he said early on that you got to have 2 or 3 sources of income. And I've always heard that, I guess most of my life. I just had my job, maybe like a lot of you. But it is so true. Now, I do have multiple sources of income between Social Security, YouTube, Amazon affiliate, a couple other little things that I've done. I've helped out people, been paid for it. And it's cool. It is cool when you're making it. And this is what we talk about on the channel. When you get to be retired and you get your Social Security, you got these little side hustles you can do. People want to confuse it with well, that's not retirement. Well, if you're doing what you want to do and you're bringing in some extra money that you can just save or use for a vacation or a cruise or travel or just whatever you want, good on you and smart. The Social Security is not going to stop. I know people say it will. It's not. You got that lock, and these other things that you can do. It could be a great life. Now Jared, he's got his head on straight. You can tell he goes to the gym too. He's a slim guy. He's buff, well-spoken, nice young man. And he had a bucket of water and a microfiber towel, and he's wringing it out, and he's wiping down all of those grills that they sell, those smokers, those metal smokers. There's several of them outside the door of Buc-ee's. This is what they're doing overnight. They're dusting and cleaning and stocking and mopping the floors. They use this machine that goes over the floor. They're not pushing a mop around. They got a machine. I saw a lady pushing it. And I said, well, how do you like it here? I said, is there much turnover? And I said, do people stay? He goes, well, most, but some, they don't like structure. They don't like, I said, what do you mean? I said, oh, I know what you mean. Buc-ee's has rules. Buc-ee's has a business model. It's very successful. Look how many they're opening. Look how much business they do. So they let you know right up front what they expect from you. And Jared said, they give me a paycheck They say no phone for 8 hours. I get my check. I do what they say. And he says, this is just a means to an end. This is a vehicle I'm using to pay my bills. And so he understands. He's like the ideal employee. And like the others that work there, they get it. They were told when they get there, this is what we want to do. Can you do it? And then when they don't do it, or they have a problem with it, and they want to change, and yammer on their phone when they're not supposed to, or not do their job like they're instructed to do, then there's a problem. But Jared has been taught from an early age, and that's the point of my talk. I was listening to something on a podcast earlier about when kids are young and the parents, start with the baton, and then the teacher gets the baton, and then, structure from when you're young about work ethic and obedience and morality and, honesty and hard work and, all that kind of stuff and all them other adjectives that I can't think of right now. I was listening to a podcast and I was thinking, he's been brought up. I asked him, I said, Jared, you live clean? He goes, oh yeah. He says, I might have done a few things when I was in my teens and stuff, but I'm 33, so I don't smoke, drink, none of that stuff. I ain't got time for that. And I thought, this guy's definitely going to make it. This guy's definitely got everything, and it's so simple. He remembers what his dad taught him. He's got a skill set. He's got structure. He can follow rules. He gives them a good day's work, and they give him a good paycheck. They both hold their heads high. He just gets it. And if more people in our country, and now I'm going to go off on a little thing about, people that work and try to look for a way not to do their job, try to just, be lazy and talk about how they're not paid enough and, then quit. Why'd you sign up? If you do work for $13 an hour at Target, give them a full day's work. Do it for the Lord. Opportunity is going to open for you. But that Buc-ee's, they're opening them up all around the country. I would say if you are on retirement or you're even a young person and there's one near you, you might want to seek out that place. Like I said, he had a bucket of water on a cart with wheels, and he was wringing the water out, wiping off, making sure that those $1,200 smoker grills were clean and dust-free from pollen and dust. And I sat there and talked to him. He didn't stop working. I talked to him for 15 minutes or more while I drank my first cup of coffee. He didn't miss an inch. He cleaned those grills. They looked brand new. He didn't just sweep over. He kept wringing his rag out. He wiped the legs. He went underneath the poles. He did everything. They told him how to do it, I'm sure. They said, we want this cleaned all over, underneath. Don't get cheap on us. And what is he doing? Exactly what he was told. And I just enjoyed talking to Jared this morning. I told him about my YouTube channel and, my life, the camper, and of course, I got to talk about me. But after I had a few hours sleep, stayed at a rest area, and there's nothing to rush back to Jacksonville for. It's 4:48, and I got 416 mile range. I filled up my gas for $2.99 a gallon. Bought $65 worth of fuel. A cup of coffee at Wawa yesterday in Boynton was $2.56. I don't think I'm going to do that again. Why? Because I can get a senior coffee at McDonald's or make my own, but if I have to get one and buy one, I need to be smarter. Buc-ee's only charged for a large $1.56. So $1 less, a whole dollar. So I basically got a free cup. Now I will say this, I did ask. I walked in there after I got through talking to Jared, and the cashier lady there was smiling and welcoming me to Buc-ee's. That's a hard one to say. I held up my cup. She already knew what I was going to say. She says, no, they don't do... I mean, I didn't want it for free, a refill. I thought they have a refill charge. But at $1.50 a cup, nope, they don't. So... But I'm really impressed with that organization. You know, they're opening one in Ocala, Florida. They're largest in the country, 80,000 square. And, you know, I don't know how big 80,000 square feet is, because these here are like humongous. And the one up here in St. Augustine is as well. I might have to pull in there anyway to tinkle. The cleanest bathrooms. You ever been to a Buc-ee's? If you haven't, there's a story. It says world famous bathrooms because there's an attendant in there all the time. He also makes $21.50 an hour. Doesn't matter what position you get. Nobody's any higher than the other. They're all a team. I mean, maybe some people do work their way higher, or management, I'm sure. But when you go into the bathroom stalls, it's floor to ceiling walls. There's no underneath where you can see somebody else's feet. It's like this heavy door. They're big and roomy inside. And the second you walk out of there, the guy runs in behind you and cleans it. So you can't find, you know, ever one that doesn't have everything in there. Paper, clean, everything. They really are the cleanest, world famous bathrooms. So, and there's all these sinks and soap, and you get real paper towels instead of a hand dryer. And so the restrooms are nice. You got gifts in there, you got snacks, you got coffee, sodas, the lowest price fuel. The products are fairly priced. They got those grills and cords of wood and all this stuff. When you walk in the door, they sell at pretty good prices, and they're well made. Buc-ee's is cool, and they're cool because they're giving you a good deal, a good price, and a clean place, great service, and you just got to respect that. And that's all anybody's got to do, is just do the right thing. You know, give the customer a good product, a good value, and good service. And have your people represent you the way your business model is, a good business model. So I told Jared I'd be talking about him on my channel. I didn't interview him, he's working. I didn't video there because you've seen him. It's dark anyway. But I did, you know, I'm all hopped up on some coffee. I know you can hardly see me. I got this dome light on. But I did want to chat with you guys, an early morning chat, and kind of just tell you what I'm doing, where I'm going. I'll be home this morning. And I still got today, tonight, Sunday night, Monday night, and then Tuesday sometime I'll leave and come on back down here and see the doctor. And then he wants to see me a week later. I'll just do the same thing. You know, it's 300 miles. It's a tank of gas each way. And I can stay at Teddy and Jolene's. I can sleep in my truck over Cracker Barrel. I can do anything I want. I can go to a rest area for 24 hours or overnight or a few hours. Like Jared, I only need 4 hours. What do I care? I'm not going to throw down $150 at some hotel for, to lay down. If I was traveling with a nice lady, I'd get us a room. But you got to be tough. So I can do what I got to do. I'll be leaving the crasher at home, that's for sure. Not going to drag it down here. But just as soon as I get this eye thing, and he tells me he doesn't need to keep seeing me every week, and I can get this behind me and the blood to get out of my eye, and I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm going to hook her up, and every day that goes by is getting warmer and closer to spring. I-10 is right outside my door. I-10 westbound. Here I come. All the way to California eventually. Making my stops along the way. Maybe meeting subscribers. Maybe going a little north and south as I head west. Just following the front end. Following the good Lord. Finding out what I'm supposed to do. Who I'm supposed to meet. Trusting in God. And I'm like years ahead of Jared and have accomplished maybe not as much as he hopes to accomplish the way he's doing it right now, but I am debt free. I got my free check coming in. I got my side hustle. I own a home. I own a vehicle. All I got to do is keep my health going and be kind and sow good seed and just every day crush it.